Anunnaki Draco history and its influence on society today. The Roman or Greek gods, which we call the Anunnaki, were divided up into two factions. These were the forces of light versus the forces of dark, the Jedi versus the Sith, angels versus demons. They were semi-physical entities, meaning they could go back between physical and non-physical states between the fourth and sixth densities. The Anunnaki are the gatekeepers of the physiological realm of the fourth dimension, hence why they fought for the minds of the Earthlings. Once I wanted to teach spiritual evolution so we could rule ourselves and to rectify the galaxy's genetic imbalances. The other side wanted to keep humans at a low frequency so they could filter our unused energy through the crossing portals of Earth and feed both the negative entities and their machinery with our supply to another dimension. The Anunnaki used certain portals of Earth to incarnate human form so they could better connect with us. The first major one was established in the city of Dalmatia in the Turkey-Armenia region. They did the same with Göbekli Tepe and Karadağ. The regions of Turkey and Armenia occupy the third eye portal region. This is where the Anatolian serpent of knowledge comes in through the Anunnaki, who taught the first Neanderthals the knowledge of the stars and the chakra energy centers. They themselves picked 138 of the best Neanderthal genetics to appear and manifest physically to the humans, so they could part their knowledge with us. Why do they use the serpent in their teachings? Apart from the reference to the Kundali serpent, the Anunnaki are predominantly Pleiadian and reptilian hybrids. The Nephilim children, at least, that is. The higher entities have a mix of Assyrian energies. Hybridization of humans with the reptilians goes back to the earlier Lyrian wars with Draconian entities. The Orion Empire was strong under the royal Chakra rule around Thuban, until major galactic battles commenced within the human, phalan species of the Lyrians and the Reptilians. Some truces were made as major losses occurred on both sides. This leads to a split among certain reptilian groups who saw this cooperation between species as weakness, and so they went their separate ways. There were those reptilians that crossbred with the Lyrians, the Kalaks who moved closer to the light as a result of altering their DNA. These beings had the potential power to overthrow the royal chakra, as they could become chaos mages by fusing both the light and dark in balance to create a double toroidal energy field within themselves. The Morkel continued their pursuit to dominate, enslave, and torture. They are similar in energy to that of the Cab reptilians, who have black eyes and horns. This is where the devil archetype originates from. The Anunnaki, or gods, were formed from the star of Absalom Boötis that brought about their physical galactic forms, which may appear different from their earth bodies or sleeves. Some of the positively oriented ones were considered type 2 benevolent entities, which means they had good intentions, but would still force their theology onto their students rather than respect the free will of the people. This is how religions were created. Zeus would fit into this category. The Anunnaki used their theologies to separate humans into various tribes. This stunted the growth of Earth's people and blocked the unity connection of the planet. The negative-oriented Anunnaki treated humans very poorly, particularly the woman. They interbred with humans, corrupting the human gene pool and prohibiting growth in the higher energy centers. This leads to a long war between the RA Confederation and the negative Anunnaki, where eventually the Anunnaki were either banished from the Earth or imprisoned underground. The Great Flood assisted in the making the negative entities retreat off-planet, go underground, or just die in the cataclysm. Marduk, who used the Shetty and Hent draconian reptilians to dominate the Earth realm, and humanity was eventually imprisoned by the Assyrian High Council in the underworld before being exiled into North America. Most of the Anunnaki were very unstable physiologically and embodied the false identity through their narcissistic conquest to dominate one another for roles of power. The Syrians implemented a 666 Templar Axion code that energetically blocked Dracos and Anunnaki from interbreeding with humans after a treaty had been signed between the forces of the light and dark. The Iranians being were sent to Earth to alter the consciousness of humans back to a great mountain of light, programming that prospered in Lemuria and connected back with the greater divine programmer. They did not look human, so they took the form of animals, imparting knowledge to humanity within the dream state. These were your spirit animals archetypes. Unfortunately, these beings couldn't rectify the heavy damage of selfishness, aggression, and greed, which some of the Anunnaki and Draco had plagued humans, with which became ingrained in many of the Earthlings' behavior. The children of the Law of One were created by the members of the Pleiadian, Syrian, and Arcturian Council as the new blueprint to show humanity how to evolve consciousness out of the galactic night. They worked with Enki to build a new genome for the future human race that would transcend into light. The small new race comprised of only 12 families known as the Dasnai or the Ceres, who first came and settled in Evno, Acheron, and Khefu, which we now call the Canary Islands in the age of Leo. They were the Egyptian gods, and the alchemists of Chem looking to alter the DNA with the knowledge they imparted to others from within. Osiris was the leader, the whole or all representation of the Ceres consciousness. Their earthly mission was to bridge the consciousness of Orion and Sirius back to unity again, and create heaven on earth by balancing the poles of masculine and feminine in perfect harmony once again. The Sirius DNA is the combination of 7 galactic species genes, 7 pure species, and 5 hybrid species. This created 12 genetic seeds in total, in which the 12 gods and goddess embodied and would share their DNA codes with the world by downloading information from the world's Agatha portal network. Their bloodlines spread to the 12 tribes of Israel,